All righty. You are looking live. It's sold out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Green Bay Packers. And why are the Green Bay Packers 0-16? Because they suck. So the Eagles suck. The Eagles got their butts handed to them by the 49ers. The Eagles suck. The Eagles suck. Eagles suck. Oh, man, it rolls right off the tongue there. Philadelphia sucks. Oh, man, I hate them. Right at you, Philly. Right there, baby. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. You suck, Philly. Hate the Eagles. Absolutely hate them. Couldn't have been more happy to see them get their asses handed to them. Yeah, man, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Got started a little bit late here this evening. Had some technical difficulties with my microphone here. But better late than never, huh? Anybody's going to spend any time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Find a way to throw it in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free and fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second membership level I got is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I would thank you in advance. Thank you. If you're subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you so much. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the bell icon, hit that subscribe button. That way, next time I go live or I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge, right? What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, also a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. And then the one just underneath that, it's a Twitter link. It's Twitter. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. 7 trillion years from now, it'll be Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on him. I'm not calling it that. It's Twitter, okay? If you follow me on Twitter, I will follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I try to put stuff, giant stuff in there every day. And then a link just above it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a group. We have over 7,200 members. It's doing simply marvelous. I try to put stuff in there every day. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, if I have internet access, I got stuff going in there every day, darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in there, but if you become a member, the members post stuff in there as well, too. So between me and the members, there's a boatload of information, giant information going in there every day. The New York Giants, the Gridiron, it's a group. Join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, with all that stuff said and done and out of the way with. All right. Well, hey. How about those Eagles, huh? How about those Eagles? Oh, man, they got their butts handed to them, man. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. They look like absolute trash. Absolute trash. At home, too. Man, they just came in there and they just totally slapped them. Oh, man. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely. Couldn't have been happier. Could not have been happier. Everybody's different. I despise the Eagles. Despise the Cowboys. So, I mean, some people, I in my group, the Facebook group and all, I always make fun of the Eagles and the Cowboys anytime some people get all, upset. Well, why don't you worry about yourself? And why don't you worry about the Giants? Just, don't worry about them. I mean, it is what it is. I absolutely just can't stand them. And like when the Cowboys got their when the 49ers killed the Cowboys this season, absolutely loved it. When the 49ers came in and beat the Eagles, it just goes to show you, the Eagles aren't that good. Their defense stinks. Absolute trash. Absolutely. When they signed Leonard, I think it was, from the Colts released him, and they said they went and signed him. Yeah, it's going to help. Absolute trash. I mean, I live around these Philadelphia fans around here, and I absolutely can't stand them. Absolutely can't stand them. They think that they're the greatest team of all time. Absolute trash, especially their defense. I think 49ers scored like 6 touchdowns in a row. I mean, what absolute garbage. Absolute garbage the Eagles' defense is. Unbelievable. But so this brings me to one of my points is that, as far as like with the Eagles, are they going to be, because you keep hearing, like, oh, maybe the Eagles will be resting their starters, like maybe that last game or so against the Giants, they're going to, I mean, you realize that, well, let's see here. I mean, if next week, I mean, because we got the showdown, Big D, right? And all the Dallas Cowboy players that they got that date circled. They got it circled multiple times, going around and around on their calendar. The day that the Philadelphia Eagles are coming to town. And now, right? I don't know offhand, okay? Cowboys, they haven't lost at home, and I think Jesus Christ walked the earth. I mean, they put up all kinds of points. That, really, they're very, very good at home. Very good at home. But if they were to win, okay, at home, I'm not exactly sure who would, because they both beat each other, right? So I'm not sure who would have the inside track. Who would be number one and who would be number two. But, I mean, if you realize, I mean, quite possibly, if let's see, who the 49ers got to play here. All right, let's go back here. I mean, I'm saying because the Cowboys got 3 losses, the Lions got 3 losses, the 49ers got 3 losses, and the Eagles got 2. So next week, the Cowboys would beat the Eagles. Cowboys will have 3 losses. Eagles will have 3 losses, right? Then we got the 49ers. Who are the 49ers playing? The Eagles have let's see here. Have the last 3 games the Eagles are going to be relatively easy. Okay, they got to play the Seahawks, but they're playing them at home. Then they got to play the Cardinals. Then they got to play the Ravens. Then they got to play the Commanders. And then they got to play the Rams. So they got, well, the 49ers, but they're playing the Seahawks at home. Okay. And they're playing the Ravens at home. Then they're playing the Rams at home. Then they're playing the Commanders. And then they got the 49ers are 2 games on the road against the Cardinals, but they got Kyler Murray back. So that's, right? But the 2 games the 49ers are got to play on the road against the Commanders and the Cardinals. They got 3 home games. They got to play the Ravens. Not going to be easy. The Seahawks, not going to be a given, right? And then they got to play the Rams, right? So, but I mean, you realize, I mean, so, quite possibly, let's see who the Lions are playing here. Who are the Lions playing next week? The Lions, oh boy. Okay, they're on the road against the Bears. I mean, that'll be challenging. Be challenging. But the Cowboys got a couple tough ones though coming up, right? The Cowboys got to play the Eagles. They got to play the Dolphins. My son and I will be in that game. We'll be there in Miami Christmas Eve, and then they got to play the Lions, right? So Cowboys have a few tough games, right? The Eagles have their next 2 are tough. Okay, they got to play the Cowboys, and then they got on the road, and then they got to play the Seahawks on the road. Their final 3 games, they got to play the Giants twice, and then they got to play the Cardinals at home. So I mean, but as far as like the Eagles, maybe resting their start or something or whatever. I mean, as I said, because because you want the number one seed. It's not the way it was before with the two teams had to buy. You had six teams right now, of course, because it's all because about the Benjamins. Let's throw another. Pretty soon it's going to be like, everybody makes the playoffs. Just everybody makes the playoffs. It don't matter, right? Yeah. So it'll be the 16th seed go against the number one. And then the two, that'll be, probably about 10, 20 years. They'll be up to about 30 games a year, and then everybody makes the playoffs. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, so we'll play like 900 games a year because it's all about the Benjamins. That's all it's about, right? But, you want that number one seed. Obviously. Because obviously if you can win, you got the home field advantage. The championship game will be in your home stadium. And that would be huge. If the 49ers, right, I don't even, to tell you the truth, I'm not even sure. If I haven't looked at what the latest are, but I'm saying, but if the Cowboys were to win next week and they go 10-3, Eagles will go 10-3. If the 49ers can win, 49ers can beat the Seahawks, they'll be 10-3. The Lions were to win, beat the Bears, they would be 10-3. So you got four teams at 10-3 now. I can't possibly see where either the Eagles or the Cowboys would have the number one seed because the 49ers beat them. Right? So that means either the 49ers would be the number one seed or the Lions would be the number one seed. I'm not exactly sure who. I'm not even sure. Well, let me see here. Let's see here. Let me do this here. NFL playoffs. Playoff picture. Here we go. Let's see. So we have the Eagles will be number one. Anything here? Eagles number one. 49. Okay, 49ers number two. Okay. 49ers are number two. Oh, no. Eagles, 10-2. Yeah, 10-2. Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like the 49ers are. So if the Cowboys were to beat the Eagles, looks like the 49ers would be number one. Then I'm not sure who would be next. It would be the Eagles or the Cowboys or the Lions, whatever. But it looks like the 49ers might be the number one seed, which obviously would wind up being huge. Absolutely huge. But I'm saying, but if you come back, that going like that, the Eagles will be resting their starters for the late, I don't, I'm not so sure about that. Especially the first time when we play them. I don't even know about that last game. Because that could be for playoff positioning or whatever. So, I'm saying, me personally, I'm kind of hoping San Fran wins out. They get the bye. They get the rest up. I'm pulling for either the Lions or San Fran. Don't want Dallas in there. Don't want the Eagles in there. Right. So either Lions or the Eagles. Right. But the Cowboys. Cowboys have a couple of tough games. They got they got the Eagles. They have the Dolphins on the road in Miami. Okay, that's not gonna be easy. And they have the Lions. So the Cowboys could lose a game. They could certainly lose a game. I said the Eagles have a couple tough games here too. I said the Eagles the last three are a joke. But the Eagles, this stretch that the Eagles are in right now are, I'll tell you what, if you look at what the Eagles, let's see if I can find this once again. With the Eagles, the Eagles early on, where the heck are we at here? Championship game then. Okay, the preseason. Okay, they played the Patriots. And I'll tell you what, man, the Patriots actually could have almost won that game. But anyway, they just pissed me off thinking about it. Then they had to play the Buccaneers. Then they played the Rams. And they played the Commanders. And they played the Jets. when they played the Eagles, the Dolphins, but then they played the Commanders again. But you look at this stretch right here. I'll tell you what. Talking about, the Eagles did not get any favors done here. They played the Dolphins, then they played the Commanders, right? But then they played the Cowboys, then they played the Chiefs, then they played the Bills, then they played the 49ers, then they played the Cowboys, and then they got to play the Seahawks on the road. Wow, what a tough stretch that is for the Eagles. What a tough stretch that is. Let me tell you what. But there's no way that Eagles are going to be resting in their starters. Unless maybe the Cowboys for maybe the final game, maybe I said unless the Eagles win, keep winning, and the Cowboys maybe they lose to maybe the Dolphins or something. I don't even know. I don't even know. But it's starting to look less and less likely that there's a chance that the Eagles rest their players at all. So when the Giants playing the Eagles are going to be pissed off, okay, and they're going to be playing their best, which is where you like it to be. But so they won't be resting any, and I highly doubt any of their starters. Now, as far as with the Giants, now of course we had the games tonight with the Monday night game. You had Jacksonville, right, going up against Jacksonville and the Bengals. All right, Who Dey. The Giants are 4-8, Commanders are 4-9. The Rams, they're 6-6. The Seahawks are 6-6. The Cardinals are 3-10. The Vikings are 6-6. The Packers are 6-6. The Bears are 4-8. Bucks are 5-7. Saints are 5-7. So basically you got. Let's see. I don't even know who that. I didn't. Did I? I clicked out of that. The playoff picture, but so you have what? 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 teams that are 6-6. So the Giants are like 2 games out of playoff spots. Now, as far as, whether they're going to make it or not, the problem is that there's so many teams. Giants, sure. But you look at it, there's 3 teams in front of the Giants. The Saints, who are got 5 wins, the Rams and the Packers. There's 3 teams in front of the Giants, right? The Giants are going to have to face going forward. If the Giants, want to have a chance, you got 3 teams, 3, not super great teams in front of you. You got a chance now, especially with Derek Carr going down. With the same, I'm not sure how long he's going to be out for, but he had possibly a concussion. He had maybe a problem with his back, so we might have to face Jameis Winston. When we went 2 weeks. So, we'll have to wait and see. But one of the problems the Giants have is there's so many teams in front of the Giants. Let's see here. That was the playoff picture. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, the Vikings and the Packers. Yeah, so you got 3 teams from the NFC North are in there. You got the Lions who are 9-3, then the Vikings and the Packers. You got the Cowboys, the Vikings, and the Packers are the 3 wild card teams. So you got the Vikings are 6-6, the Packers are 6-6. Right? I said there's so many other teams. There's the Saints. The Giants are tied with the Bears. They're both 4-8. Right? I said that, but the Saints are in front of the Giants. The Buccaneers are in front of the Giants. The Seahawks, who actually are in front of the Giants, who actually have the head-to-head against the Giants, and then the Rams are in front of the Giants. So that's it's kind of tough, especially what's 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, there's 4 teams, and the Bears are tied with, but there's 4 teams in front, just who are on the bubble, and then there's 3 teams who have the wild card. So so there's basically 7 teams in front of the Giants as far as trying to make the those 3 wild card spots. There's 7 teams, and the Giants ain't catching the Cowboys, right? So basically, there's 6 teams in front of the Giants for 2 spots. I'm saying if the Giants were to go on some kind of crazy tear, right, just say, and wind up, say they go 3-2, right? That would give them what, 7-10, that means a lot of these teams in front would only have to, would have to win like one game or out of the final five, and it's kind of difficult. It's almost kind of like in baseball when the team is like so far, they're like the way it is with the wild card. They got a wild card spot. And you got so many teams in front. Can the Giants? Could the team? Like in baseball, can they catch up to somebody? Yeah, but I mean, sometimes when you have so many teams in front of you, you're almost asking for all the other teams to basically collapse while the one team, surges ahead. So, I mean, as nice as it would seem, I mean, this is one of those woulda, coulda, shoulda times. I mean, you always look back, right? It's like, well, the Giants, we should have beaten the Jets. Straight up and simple. Should have beat the Jets. I said you can also look at it too. I mean, the boneheaded thing that Tyrod Taylor did. I mean, you have to, I mean, when it against Buffalo, end of the first half, basically, if you're going to call it a run play, right, there has to be like a gap like 300 miles wide, right? And you call the run play, or you do a quarterback sneak. I mean, I mean, it's you don't know whether there's a cry, you want to punch something, or just laugh, but it's like you have, I mean, it's like you got to make sure, it's like, if you don't make it in the end zone, you're not going to get any points. You realize that, right? And the 3 points there would have been freaking huge. I mean, also, call the pass play. Right? Maybe you score. Maybe you complete the pass. Maybe you get a touchdown that way. But it's like, you have no timeouts. If you don't get it in, and they were not running the ball very well at all that night either. If you don't get it in there, you get, what were they, like the 2-yard line, I think it was? You realize you're at the 2-yard line, and you got a good chance you're not going to score any points here. You know how stupid that is? I mean, and I'm saying then at the end of the game, it wouldn't have mattered when Waller had his shirt ripped off by the defender, and of course the refs, the see no foul ref was there. I don't see none. That looked like a good play to me. Then that wouldn't have mattered. Why? Because the Giants would have kicked the field goal, would have wound up winning. Possibly, quite possibly. Okay, because if they kicked the field goal at the end of the first half, they might have had 12 points there. So when they got down to the end of the game, maybe they might have just needed a field goal there, might have won, right? Or if if we didn't have the see no foul ref, right, in the end zone, and he actually called it right, maybe the Giants get 1st and goal at the 1. Maybe they punch it in there, and they wind up winning. But it is what it is. I mean, the Giants quite possibly, once again, coulda, shoulda, woulda, be 6-6. But you also look at it too, is that obviously you want to make the playoffs and you want to win the games and all that stuff. But you just see also is that when we're going up against the upper echelon teams, forget about it, right? I mean, we're not even in, with the Cowboys, the 49ers, we just, and, probably these 2 games against the Eagles, we're probably going to get, smoked. Yeah. So, we can hang with the other teams, right? We even hung with the Bills. Obviously, injuries were a huge part this season for the Giants, but speaking of that, right? Speaking of injuries, now we got Tyrod coming back, who's eligible to come off of IR, and we let Matt Barkley, we waived him, but he could quite possibly wind up coming back. So, because we have to have 3 quarterbacks, because Actually, we let go 2 quarterbacks, right? Tyrod Taylor is coming back to practice this week, and the Giants opened a spot for him on the 53-man roster on Monday. The Giants waived quarterback Matt Barkley. And, Matt Barkley, who served as Tommy DeVito's backup for the last 3 games. They also released quarterback Jacob Eason from the practice squad. So we got 1 guy coming back, and we're letting 2 guys go. Leaves us with 2 quarterbacks. However, right, Barkley can re-sign to the practice squad if he clears waivers, and it seems likely that the Giants will keep a 3rd quarterback on hand. On hand, given the injuries that have sidelined Taylor and Daniel Jones this season. Absolutely. Giants head coach Brian Daboll has not said whether DeVito or Taylor will start against the Packers next Monday night. Now, it's going to be interesting. Do you go with the hot hand? What do you do? Do you revert back to Tyrod? He's the backup. More experienced veteran, or do you want to go with Tommy Chicken Cutlets, whatever he does there? I hate to say the hot hand, because it was rather lukewarm, shall we say, against the Patriots. I think the Giants' longest drive against the Patriots was 7 plays. Something like that. It's not like we walked up and down the field multiple times. The only reason why we scored any points at all was from the defense. Wasn't for the defense, the Giants would have lost that game by 7-0. Offensively, I don't see us scoring any points at all that game. The Giants were absolutely pathetic. New England has a good defense. Don't get me wrong. Very good run defense. Very good coverage defense. They lost another. They lost 6-0 this week, right? I think that I don't know if that's the first time in history. I think a team has lost, or first time since maybe the Super Bowl era or something like that, where they've lost 3 straight games where they've given up 10 or fewer points, because they gave up 10 to the Colts and they lost. They gave up 10 to the Giants, and then they lost, and it was 6-0. Is that what it was to the Chargers? So they've given up 10 or less points 3 straight games, and they lost all 3 of them. In this era, where the rules and everything is designed for offense, right? You give up 26 points in 3 games, and you lose all 3 of them. Wow. That's absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. They give up 10 points, and 6 points, and they lose all 3 games. That is horrible, absolutely horrible offense. But the defense is very, very good. So it's tough to say. Do you want to go with Danny? Keep it rolling with him, and have Tyrod on the bench just in case something goes wrong or whatever. Bring Tyrod in. Let's wait and see. But they got to have 3 quarterbacks, especially if Tyrod is your backup or Tyrod is one of your 2 quarterbacks. Unfortunately, I love the guy to death, but he's an injury waiting to happen. You got to have a 3rd quarterback. So hopefully, if Barkley clears waivers, he'll be back. But it's very, very interesting to see, or to see, or whatever. Who Daboll. He's not gonna. Be interesting to see if he says at all who's going to be the starter. Else we have to wind up waiting until Monday night to find out who the starting quarterback is. But going to be interesting to see. I'm not exactly sure who I would wind up having in there. Because Tyrod's been out for a little while. Be interesting to see. But then I got this here. This is from Amani Toomer. This is there's no I in team for Kurt Warner. Now, apparently, the one year, 2004, when Kurt Warner was actually started the season for the Giants. The Giants at one time got to They were 5-2 in 2004. Then they lost 2 tough games. I can't remember if there was the Detroit and Chicago. Let me see. Let's pop this up here. 2004 New York Giants here. They started the season. New York. They started the season 5-2 and really looking good. Then they lost 2 close, tough games where they really didn't score a lot of points offensively. Nope, my bad. Okay, it was Chicago and Arizona. They lost 28-21 to Chicago at home. Then they lost 17-14 to the Arizona Cardinals. And so even then, I mean, we had some tough games coming up. We had some tough games, but that was the weirdest thing because like at 5-4, you had 7 games left to go in the season. 7 games left to go in the season. Basically, they just pulled the plug on the season, which in the long run wound up being for the best and everything like that. But they were one time they were 5-2, and 15 games into the season they were 5-10. They lost 8 games in a row. 2 of them were Kurt Warner, right? And then 6 games in a row they lost with Eli. Eli started 6 games in a row, lost them all. Okay. Final game of the season, actually, my son and I were there. My son and I, we saw Eli Manning's first ever victory against the Dallas Cowboys. Was it January 1st? It was a Sunday night. It was the last game of the season. There was no flexing going on then. So you had the Cowboys were 6-9. The Giants were 5-10. It was the Sunday night game. There was no flexing. They would have flexed out of that game because both teams, neither team had a winning record. Neither team was going to have a winning record. Neither team was making the playoffs. So they would have flexed out of that game if there was flexing. But there was none of that back then. So they kept the game. And was it January 1st? January 2nd. Okay. It was the last game of the season. The Giants won 28-24. It really wound up being a really, really good game. The Giants were down 24-21. And they got down around like the 2-yard line. I think it was 2 or 3 yard line or so. And Eli walks up to the line of scrimmage. Bam! Omaha. Right, I think he had a pass play on. Changed it to a draw play to Tiki Barber. Tiki sneaks in there, 2-3 yards out. Well, let's see, what was it? Was it 2 or 3 yards out? Box score. But he audibled out of a pass, 3-yard rush. He audibled out of the pass, gave a draw to Tiki, got in there 28-24. What really, it was a very, very exciting game, very, very exciting game. But basically, it was just hard to believe that they would just pull the plug on a season. At 5-4, you have I don't know if anybody knew at the time he was going to be a future Hall of Fame quarterback in Kurt Warner, but hey, we're 5-4. We're right in the thick of a playoff, and they decided to pull the plug on our season. I said in the long run, obviously worked out for the best because because obviously they wanted to get Eli in there, get him some reps and all that, which wound up working out for helping the Giants out for the 2005 season because 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, the Giants made the playoffs. It's the only time in history the Giants went to the playoffs 4 straight years. Even Bill Parcells never even did that. So that really, really helped the Giants out for the 2005 season. But interesting enough, there was something that Monty Toomer was talking about. And it just kind of makes you scratch your head. So, it just, even back then, guys were worried about their stats and everything. And apparently Kurt Warner was one of those players. Now it says here, this is from Giants Wire. Retired New York Giants wide receiver Monty Toomer played alongside 10 quarterbacks during his 13-year NFL career and has nothing but good things to say about most of them. One of them, however, was quite selfish in Toomer's eyes. During a Thursday appearance on the Michael Kay Show, Toomer was discussing the regression of current Giants quarterback Daniel Jones and suggested that outside pressure over a lack of stats had gotten to him. Toomer said it was not the first time he had seen a quarterback become infatuated with stats and told the story about how one of his former teammates wouldn't risk it for the biscuit. Toomer says, I played with one quarterback who wouldn't throw a Hail Mary at the end of a half because he was concerned about his overall quarterback rating if the Hail Mary would be intercepted, Toomer said. I'm not going to say any names. I'm just going to say he's in the Hall of Fame right now. So, I mean, there's no other quarterback that, Monty Toomer played with that's in the Hall of Fame. Eli will be in the Hall of Fame somewhere along the line. But, there's a bunch of other guys he played with. But, I mean, it's hard to believe he played with that many quarterbacks. Wow, that's hard to believe. I didn't realize he played with that many quarterbacks. Well, but, I mean, there's no other quarterback. Danny Canal, Dave Brown. I mean, let's see here. Carr, I think, was in there. Let's see here. I said, Eli, Kurt Warner. Let's go back here and look. I mean, let's see there. Well, obviously, he played with some pretty. That's so. Kerry Collins, Palmer, Jesse Palmer. I'm sorry, not Carr. Palmer, Jesse Palmer. So Carr. Palmer. Let's see here. Collins and Palmer. Eli, Collins, Palmer. Let's see. I know one of these years or so, Collins played the whole year. Yeah, okay. It was the 2001, 2000. I think he played. Well, I think he might have got. Let's see here. 2000. No, he might have. Did he play with the hefty lefty? I think he played with the hefty lefty too. But let's see. Who else did he play with there? Collins and Ken Graham. Forgot about Graham. Might have been Dave Brown he played with. Danny Canal. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Mike Cherry. Forgot about him. Cherry, Graham, Canal. Oh, yeah. Holy cow. See, 97. What else did he play with here? Canal, Dave Brown. Yeah, so he played with a bunch of them. Obviously, none of them are in the Hall of Fame except for Kurt Warner. But Eli, will be in there sooner or later. Let's see here. While Toomer refused to name the quarterback, it wasn't difficult to deduce. Although Eli Manning is likely headed to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he's not there yet. And that leaves just one player, Kurt Warner. Asked point blank if it was Warner, Toomer just chuckled. He said, I can neither confirm nor deny it, he said. Warner spent just one season with the Giants in 2004, appearing in 10 games before being benched in favor of the aforementioned Manning. I'm not sure he played in 10. I thought it was just 9 games because we were 5-4. And, I mean, unless Eli, let me see here. Let's try this here. Because I know he played in we were 5-4, and then we put Eli in there. So I don't know, did he play in 10 games that season for the Giants? Kurt Warner. No, he's 5-4. He played 9 games. Yeah, Eli Manning. We put him in. He started, played in 6 games. He never came out or not like that. I know he played in 10. Yeah, he must have played in 10. Yeah. Well, it says 10. Yep. He played in 10. He played in 10 games. My bad. I do apologize. Yep. Kurt Warner played in 10 games. So, 10 games. But, 10 games before being benched in favor of the aforementioned man. He completed 62.8% of his passes for 2,054 yards. He had 6 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. I mean, it was just not. It was not a good season for the Giants, especially scoring points. I mean, you look at this season; it was not a good season for the Giants scoring points. The 2004. So they scored 17 points, 20 points, 14 points, 13 points, 21, 14, 10, 6, 7, 14, I mean, they scored, they scored 30 against Pittsburgh. They scored 34 against the Vikings. But, I mean, a lot of it was also any points they did score probably came on the back of Tiki, who had 13 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, Tiki had almost 2,100 total yards, all-purpose yards. Actually, Tiki had 15 total touchdowns. So, but it was not, it was not a banner year. But that just goes to show you, I mean, it's just, I don't want to throw a Hail Mary because it might get intercepted. It might hurt my quarterback rating or whatever it is. Really, really sad. It's really, really pretty pathetic. I guess, I don't know. He could be, because when the Giants wound up, now, I mean, he might have had some kind of, maybe, I don't know, because when he went to the Giants, he knew the Giants were picking, was it like third or fourth or whatever it was. So he kind of knew that maybe there's a good chance maybe he was going to be there as just like the torch holder. Well, I'll be here for a year or so. That quite possibly going to draft somebody, and I'll be just here for a year or whatever. Maybe to try to whatever. Hold the torch while the new guy is ready. Maybe I don't know, but I'm not exactly sure when they brought him in if they told him that. Look, we got you here for a year or so. We're probably going to draft a quarterback. I don't know, but that's not much of a team first guy. I don't want to might throw an interception. It might hurt my quarterback rating. Really, really sad. Really, really sad. But it is what it is. But I mean, the Giants, some interesting stuff coming up here. We got Tyrod coming back. Waller might possibly, he's eligible to come back. I mean, that would be huge because the Packers really look like, I don't want to say they're working on all cylinders, but, they beat the Lions, right? Thanksgiving. Then, of course, they really did very, very well against the Chiefs. So, I mean, the Giants obviously, they're still in the playoff hunt, mathematically. It'd be interesting to see what they're going to wind up doing going forward. They're going to start go with I don't want to keep saying a hot hand because it's the lukewarm hand, or do you want to go with the backup quarterback? So it'd be interesting to see, but we may not find that out for another few days. So. All right, guys, it's been 42 minutes. Whoever spent any time at all, and I'm not sure if anybody spent any time at all because my first video was screwed up because I had a problem with my microphone, so I had to create a second video. So if anybody watches any of the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.